Rikimaru was born middle child to the great dynasty of Ta Lin. The family prospered and ruled over their land wisely and benevolently, maintaining peace and well-being for as long as they could. Unfortunately, as always, there were those who would seek and bring out shadows, even in the reign of the brightest light. The great dynasty of Ta Lin now lives on only in the heart of their sole survivor, Rikimaru, now known as the Stealth Assassin. Prior to the fateful day, Rikimaru, Riki in short, would not much be concerned by his royal roots or upbringing. He was one with the streets, missing from the palace and blending in with the crowd. He, one of the royal family, was oddly fascinated by the life of those whom he would once be to rule over. Even if his shroud never was pierced, his shape escaping watchful eyes, and his form always in shades, sneaking and occasionally throwing in a word or two. Perhaps it was because being the middle child, he was overlooked by his family. With the elder brother groomed for the throne and the younger brother coddled and spoiled, Rikimaru had become virtually invisible to those closest to him. That he accepted, and perhaps in a stroke of inspiration, or perhaps out of spite, he began polishing his art of stealth by night, having returned from another tour to the city. His training had no real meaning to it. It was something he just felt right doing. It was something that would eventually bear fruit, and if only he knew how it would be. One night, a strange orange mist had risen outside the city walls. Lights and candles dimmed quickly, even though there was no wind that would banish the flames. The strange occurrence had the guards on edge, and one by one, those guards were felled by edges sharp and stout, and none of them even let out a sound. Those who had somehow managed to survive the attack did not retain their minds. Their stares vacant, they thought themselves on the run from assailants in dread-instilling masks. The mist spread through the city streets, aiming for its goal, the Ta Lin family palace. That night was surely the darkest in the history of the attacked land, as well as its last. Nothing was the same after the morning rays beamed in and highlighted the results of the masked intruders, of whom but silhouettes were ever seen. In the dark of the night, Riki's senses perked up as he felt danger approaching. He rushed through the corridors, aiming to warn his family. Alas, his brothers would not believe their dodgy sibling, instead laughing his warnings off. Trying to convince the stubborn two was a dead end. That Riki knew. And instead he ran to his parents. Only had he arrived right at the moment when two masked assailants inserted swords into his mother and father, and almost immediately he heard his brothers scream out in agony, back where he ran from. It was too late for them. It was too late for everyone. Maybe even for him. The palace was on fire. The assailants wanted to be sure that none survived the night. The flames digested the rich curtains and paintings. The treasures and ornaments went up in smoke. That same smoke reached the royal bedroom when Rikimaru was there. And in that same smoke, the slippery figure of their target dissipated from the attackers. No matter how hard they searched, Prince Rikimaru was nowhere to be found. He had somehow escaped, running through the halls filled with these strange warriors, looking and hoping to find yet another Ta Lin to slaughter. He didn't know where to run. He didn't even know what to do. He couldn't go on without a plan, so he hid in a safe corner where the shadows would shield him and where the smoke did not reach yet. For how little attention he got from his belated family, he still felt hatred and anger towards those that deprived him of them. But he also felt accomplishment. His seemingly senseless training did pay off. Now it was time to execute everything he had learned. He cut his way out of the royal grounds, using the element of surprise, and silently slitting the throats of one masked intruder after another. Now, free of his royal responsibilities, Riki went on to use his odd set of skills in a new way, hoping to one day track down and take revenge on those who killed his family and robbed him of his birthright. Rikimaru the Prince had become Riki the Stealth Assassin. However, yet again, fate had a surprise up its sleeve. A great storm was coming, rumors and stories of armies forming all over the world, promises of wealth and more. Those promises did catch his attention. Determined to make swift work of one more deal and finally locate the elusive murderers with the help of the forces he would offer his services to, he walked to the distant lands. He followed the trail of whispers and rumors, and soon he'd be following the trail of those who almost put an end to the Talin dynasty.